If you want to know what a Band 9 on the IELTS Speaking exam looks like, you need to watch good English speakers taking the test. Maybe someone like an English teacher with 25 years experience. In other words, someone like me.
Now I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. First, what is your favourite food?
Well, if I had to say what my favourite food was, I would say Chinese food. I absolutely love all of the different flavours and varieties that are involved, particularly noodles. Noodles with sweet and sour sauce and chicken is absolutely delicious. I would eat it every day of the week if I could.
Have your eating habits changed recently?
I'd say probably yes, actually. When I was younger, I used to eat a lot of confectionery, so sugary products, chocolates, crisps. Now I try to eat much more healthily. I'll normally have a lot of fruit for breakfast, then I'll have something healthy like a salad for lunch, and then a balanced meal in the evening with some vegetables, perhaps some potatoes, maybe a little bit of meat, but certainly not very much in the way of confectionery.
Do you prefer eating at home or eating out at a restaurant?
Well, I like a bit of both, actually. I like eating at home sometimes because then I can choose exactly what I eat and how it's made. I can add flavourings to it. I can experiment a bit. I love experimenting with food. On the other hand, eating out is a real treat from time to time. I love also the sense of going out to a restaurant and trying something completely new that I could never cook at home.
Is there a traditional food in your country that you think everyone should try?
Well, when people come to England, they normally see lots of fish and chip shops, which is very simple, really. It's simply codfish in a batter with chips. But it's something that everyone needs to try if they come to the United Kingdom because it's just iconic of this country. You may think it's plain, you may think it's not particularly exciting, but if you want to say you've had an authentic experience of coming to the United Kingdom, you have to have fish and chips. I'll show you the rest of my exam in a moment, but let's pause while I show you some of the things I did that will help you get a higher band. Firstly, you would have noticed I used all of these fillers. Well, so now, actually, fillers are really useful if you want a little bit of extra time to think about the answer that you're going to give. You will have noticed I used well at the beginning of some of my answers. That gave me an extra second to think about what I wanted to say. I also used modals. Modals make your verbs more complex, particularly the modal would. The modal would is used to be hypothetical, and it communicates to the examiner, I'm really thinking deeply about what I'm saying. Intensifiers showed extra feeling. So when I wanted the examiner to be aware that something was important to me for a particular reason, or something was noteworthy, I used these intensifiers before the adjectives. I also used collocations, such as balanced meal. Collocations are 2 words or 3 words that commonly go together in English, and they're considered an advanced feature of English. Then I used a range of conjunctions, such as because, and a contrastive on the other hand, and these show my ability to link parts of my speech together. And I also used specific lexis. Now, the topic was about food. So I didn't just use words such as apple and banana, in other words, basic words to do with food. I was more detailed. I talked about the specific fish that's used in fish and chips, and also other ingredients like batter. Now, part 1 of the IELTS speaking exam does not need to be too complex. It's supposed to be a simple chat about simple topics. But all the same, the examiner does want to see some examples of complex language so they can give you the higher bands. So do insert some of these complex features at times within your speech in part 1. Don't forget to practice good pronunciation skills. In my exam, I stressed appropriate syllables, I maintained a rhythm between these syllables, and I used appropriate intonation, going down to end a statement, going up to show I had more to say. And your fluency can be improved by doing what I did and pausing between clause breaks and sentence breaks. Now for the second part of my exam.
Now I'm going to ask you some questions about technology. What technology do you use every day?
I use a lot of technology because I need to for my work. I produce videos for YouTube, and in order to produce these videos, I need a powerful computer. I have a web camera and a microphone that I record on. In addition to that, I have my own mobile device, which I take with me pretty much everywhere, and I use that all the time. It helps me check if anyone's commented on my videos, or if they've liked my videos or subscribed.
How has technology changed the way we communicate?
Well, I think the answer I just gave has explained some of that. In the past, I'd only ever speak to people face to face or perhaps through the telephone, but nowadays most of my communication is through messages sent through the internet, on social media, or through email. So the way that I communicate with people is extremely different now.
What device do you find most useful?
I think the smartphone is an incredibly useful device. You could do just about everything on it. I can phone people on it, I can send messages, I can look on a map to see where I need to go on a particular day. I can find out what the weather's going to be in 10 minutes' time or in 10 days' time. I can find out all of the news and anything I want, really. It's an incredible thing, the smartphone, one of the most amazing inventions ever.
Do you think there are any negative effects of technology in your life?
I guess there are. I probably spend too long on YouTube's analytics looking at how many people have watched my video, what the click-through rate is, that is how many people saw the thumbnail and then clicked on the video afterwards. And then sometimes if I wake up in the middle of the night, I've got new comments on my video. Now, the people who've made those comments, for them, it's the middle of the day, so I like to reply as soon as I can. But I guess I shouldn't be checking comments on my YouTube videos in the middle of the night. Now I'm going to show you something else I did that can help you get a higher band. And that is when I gave an answer that required my opinion. I used this structure, and it's a typical structure that you can follow too when you're giving your opinion. I started by giving my main answer. I think the smartphone is an incredibly useful device, a simple, straightforward answer. Now, I could have stopped there, and some people do stop there and they don't go on to get the higher marks by developing their answers further. How did I develop it? Well, first of all, I gave a reason for this answer. You can do just about everything on it. And I went further still by giving examples of why I had this reason. I can phone people on it, I can send messages, I can look on a map, and I said other things too. Now, this may well be enough to convince your examiner that you can speak at length on a topic about your opinions. But if you need to say something more, you can add a summary of everything too, such as this. It's an incredible thing, the smartphone, one of the most amazing inventions ever. Bear in mind that in part 1, you shouldn't be speaking for too long. Aim to respond for between 15 seconds and 30 seconds. If you go on too long, then you're not fulfilling the purpose of the task, which is to answer questions simply in a conversation style. And that counts too. The examiner wants to see that you can give answers of an appropriate length in response to the question asked. So if you feel like you've been speaking for 20 or 30 seconds already, don't go on to the summary. Just stop with one example or two examples and then wait for the next question. There's lots more to learn, and you can learn everything you need to get a top band in IELTS through my course, Achieve IELTS Bands 7, 8 and 9. To find out more, click in the link below me in the video description now.